Hey y'all.
What is up? All money in box trucking. Gonna let
Yes.
some people get in.
So what your idea is for tonight? I know you said you want to talk about a couple things while we wait on some people.
Um, so we definitely gonna get into this Amazon relay. A lot of people had a lot of questions about the Amazon relay. Um, so we're gonna answer some questions, go over a little bit about our experience with the Amazon relay. Um,
Mhm.
and that's where we stand at for tonight. We're gonna drop a lot of gems. Um,
Yeah, cause Amazon was my favorite.
Yes, most definitely was your favorite. We done had our worlds. It's Amazon.
Definitely, definitely. I definitely like the Amazon. It's definitely some. I mean, it's all what you make it, but it was definitely seemed like you could bring some bread in.
Right. So what was the number one thing that you didn't like about Amazon Relay that you can say?
Um, I don't think it was really nothing that I just didn't like about Amazon. We had some circumstances where it made it a little bit more difficult. And I don't know if I was to say anything I didn't like, it was more of the late night shift, I guess.
Yeah, that's definitely mine as well. Um,
That would be probably the only thing that I would just say you would want to consider. Um, if you are thinking about doing the Amazon relay, you definitely want to consider the shifts they have available. But it wasn't really nothing that I just really. Amazon was my favorite. I felt like Amazon was the shit.
yeah, most definitely. So we do have a question. Can you do Amazon Relay? Can you do Amazon Relay with cargo van? Um,
No, remember because when we was there, we asked him and he said they don't even do 16-inch truck. Just something that I remember us asking someone that had been doing Amazon relay. They had said that they don't even allow 16 feet. I think it was what 24 they start with out there.
yeah, it was 24. He said 24. You do have to be dock high. So
Oh
with the
yeah,
cargo vans, it
yeah,
definitely wouldn't work with the cargo vans.
yeah. I don't even think they allow cargo vans. Um, to be honest, don't know for sure, but from what I've heard when we was out there, that's what was told to us. And I didn't see any 16 feet, and I didn't see any cargo.
Yeah, me neither. Um,
I definitely, I was digging Amazon though.
so tell about your experience, your first Amazon load. What was your experience?
Um, where our first experience, it went well though. Like it wasn't nothing too complicated. Um, we only had it wasn't really a bad experience. Okay, the first experience that's 2X. So it went well. I mean, I don't really know I mean, it wasn't complicated. It wasn't. I just don't feel like it wasn't nothing nobody could really do. It was easy. The only thing I hated was the hours. Like if you're gonna be delivering overnight, you just want to be careful.
Yes, most definitely. Um,
How do you feel about our experience?
oh, the first day it was good. It went well until It went well. It went well. The first experience with Amazon Relay, we was actually stranded in Florida, and we used the Amazon Relay to get us back to South Carolina. So we picked up a load in Florida. It was actually a 2 day. We did it within 2 days. We did
We
two
did.
nights of Amazon to get us back to our hometown. So we did Florida to Georgia, and then we found the load from the next night or next morning, however you want to say it. We found the load from Georgia going to South Carolina, which wasn't really bad. Um, I think we had 5 stops on that first load. The first load we did, we had 5 stops. The
With
second load,
Amazon?
yeah, you remember we had 5 stops. We went to the location that was dark, and then we went to
Oh,
the 5 stops that we had the first time that we did. The first
yeah,
load that we
yeah.
did with Amazon from Florida to Georgia, we had like 5 stops. The second the second day with Amazon, we had 3 stops.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had 3 stops.
That's another thing too. I mean, it's not bad. It's just it's it ain't like you're gonna be picking up a load and going straight to. I don't know if you can do it like that or not, but where you going straight to just one destination. When you picking up Amazon, you have different locations that that's within that order that you picking up.
Yeah, so that's what I feel like the reason why it wasn't so bad because of the different stops, because we actually split it up as far as we didn't get sleepy, because I don't think we had any sleep that day. We had dropped off a load in Florida, and we was trying to get our way out of Florida. So our best option was to pick up Amazon load in order to make our way back. So it was like we didn't have any sleep that day. So by
Yeah,
us doing a drop off in different location, it kept us woke because we were stopping, going, stopping, going, stopping, going. So I felt like that was a good thing. Um,
it was. It was.
the second thing with Amazon, that was just our first trip with doing Amazon. We did do Amazon a second trip too. It was our second trip when we was in Florida again, and we got a load. Did we get a load going directly to South Carolina? I think we had a load going directly to South Carolina, which was
It was.
Florence, South Carolina.
Yep.
Yeah, that one was terrible.
It wasn't really terrible. It was. I think it was more of our time consuming at that time.
Yeah, and then oh yeah, and then the first night that we did Amazon Relay, we had to go get badges. So when we went in to get a badge, we had to give our ID.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna mention too.
Yeah,
It's the
yeah, yeah.
point
You
of
can go
getting
ahead.
set up with these Amazon relays, because
Yeah, you can tell about that experience.
yeah, it's just when you first start. It is a little process when you first get there, so it ain't no you just go and start or whatever. You have to get registered in. You have to have a badge. I don't know if they put you in some type of database, some type of system or whatever. Um, and they give you a badge to enter their premises. And they hold on to your ID. And then once you've loaded, you have to go back. You have to go back to, well, that may have just been for temporary though, but you have to go back to the main office, I guess, and to get your ID and get your badge. But I think they assign you a personal badge after so long.
Yeah, it was like we had to send our picture. We had to send it. They had an email. They had 2 email addresses. This is where we messed up at. For my ID, my badge. Once I went in and turned in my license, they had me send my picture to 2 email addresses. One was to the location that we was at. I think it was Jacks 5, and then the other one was, I guess, to a corporate office, but what the security had told me, she said I can send it to one or the other. So I sent it to, but I ended up sending mine to both. Um, and then when you came in to do yours, it was only sent to one email address. And so when we did get the original batch, I was able to get mine, but she couldn't get hers because of hers wasn't sent to both. It was only sent to one. So that was another mistake we had made. Um, and then once you go in the gate, it's like within your app, within the app, you see you have this Q code. So when you get to the gate, you tell them the last four digits of the order number. Once you give them the order number, they'll tell you what bay they want you to go to. Um, Once you go to that bay, you go in. You have to get with one of the Amazon employees. You get with them and tell them your code. You have to tell them your order number, and they'll tell you where your order is. It could be at the bay that you're parked at. It could be a couple of bays down. It could be across the Amazon facility. So once they tell you where your order is at, that's when you start loading your truck. And how if you have multiple stops, what they told us, what it was good to scan, and they'll tell you which location it's gonna go to. So that way you will be able to load your truck from the last. You're gonna load your last stop on first, and then your first stop on last. That's how you're gonna load. You're gonna load the last stop on first, and then your first stop on last. But we had to put the order number, like if it needed to be loaded last. If it was the first stop, we'll put one. If it was the second stop, we'll put two. And that's how we knew how to load the truck. And then we did it where I scanned and told her the number, and she wrote the number on the box. And then after we got through all of our freight, that's when we started loading. We both got a pallet jack and started loading together. Um, so that made it a lot easier too. And then we was late. We was late leaving the facility due to us having to basically having to tell us how we were supposed to do it. So we was kind of late, but they still put us in the system that we was on time, which made us late for our drops. So once we was late for our drops, they was contacting us, asking us why we was late. And basically we just said that we was late due to the interstates being shut down. So we didn't get penalized for it as far as the score goes. We did get penalized because when I was booking the loads, I didn't know it was a military time. So when I booked the load, it was saying that it was for, I think, 2 o'clock, and I was thinking it was 2 o'clock that afternoon. So I booked the load and found out that it was actually military time. So I had to go in and cancel the order. So we got penalized for acceptance, and our score went down to a 50%. Um, so we did our next order, which was a couple of weeks after that. We did our next order, which brought our score back up to 75%, and we haven't did an order after that. So our acceptance score is at a 75%. All of our other scores is at 100%. And you can definitely tell as far as them giving orders to you, the amount for the orders, if your score is low, because now we don't get too many orders, and then the orders are low rated, like we getting the last of the batch that's been sent out to us. But yeah.
Yeah. But the first night, once you get the hang of it though, it's really not bad. It's really a little power move. It's really like a little shake with a little move where you can stack some coins at. I don't know who came up with that little idea, but I like it. I definitely like it. You do want to make sure you have a pallet jack. You do want to make sure you have your own pallet jack.
Yes, most definitely. We learned the hard way with the pallet jet. Now the first orders that we did, it was easy. Well, I'm not even gonna say it was easy. When we got to the Amazon branch, they allowed us to use their pallet jack. But when we
The
got to the drop,
second location,
no, when we got to the drop off, it was like it was terrible because none
we
of
got
the
to a drop off.
yeah.
No, 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 no. The first location went bad. That's the one we dropped off at night. Well, we just had that you would have to break down the whole pallet of taking them boxes off and putting them at that stop at that location where you dropping off at. You have to break down the whole pallet. So just imagine if there's two pallets is going to this location.
Yeah,
Okay.
the first location. Okay, so the first location that was my most terrible. Well, I'm gonna say the most terrible. But it was one of the most terrible experience because we got to the location and it was dark as ever. Like it was dark and it
It
was
was
like
in
on
this
this.
neighborhood.
Yeah, it was like on this country road down, and it was like
It didn't even look like a post office. Let's just say
yeah.
that.
Oh yeah, and then all of our loads have been at a post office. We haven't went to another facility or any of that. All of our loads have been at a post office. But when we got to this location, like it was dark. It was like no street lights, no nothing. It was down on this dark road. It was like it was kind of sitting out to itself and maybe had like 4 or 5 houses around it. But the road was dark. It was dark at the back of the post office, and we didn't have a pallet jack. If I would have been by myself, that I would have had to take that back to the Amazon. I would have had to take that, definitely take that back to the Amazon. So we do have another question. So is it possible to do Amazon without a pallet jack? I wouldn't
you can
recommend
you
it.
can do it, but that's what we saying. You can do it, but you gotta put you some extra time in there because if you don't have a pallet jack, say if you got two or three pallets that's gotta drop at one location, you're gonna have to break because you're not gonna be able to pull that pallet off. So you're gonna have to break that whole pallet down, taking box by box off of that pallet and stacking it at that location.
Yeah.
So it's very time
Yeah,
consume.
that made us late too for our location too. That made us late for the next drop off because we had to, and then it was big boxes, and then it was heavy stuff on the box, and we had to like push it to the lift gate. We had to push it to the lift gate. Once we got the lift gate down, we had to push it, and it was like, well, I'm not even sure if we were supposed to even put the packages there, but it was like this storage room outside. It had a lock on it. So we put we don't even know if these people had the key to this lock or nothing. But it was like the storage room. So we had to actually push these boxes because they was, like I said, they was so heavy that we
No,
had to
that ain't
push.
even half of what we had to do. Okay, that was just the first location. Those boxes wasn't really that heavy. They had some
No, that
heaviness
was
in there.
heavy. No,
And
no,
you
no.
got to think about it when you picking up your drop at Amazon, they use what is those big boxes called?
Gaylord.
Gaylords with some of their stuff too. So if you don't have no pallet jack to get that stuff up off of there, and you got a whole Gaylord on the back of your truck, like it's a mess. So I
Yes.
definitely wouldn't recommend it. But the worst experience without a pallet jack, let I got to tell it. So this was maybe like our this was a drop we did, I think in Florida. It was in Florida. We had picked the. Oh no 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 no! I'm mixing it up. This was not a drop from. This was not a drop from Amazon. I was, you know what I was finna talk about. The
What?
drop where we had to get those speakers for a movie theater
Oh my
off
God.
the back of a truck with no pellet jet.
Yes,
And just so
that
happened
is
it
a
was
different
doing
story that we have to tell on a different day. Like, yes, like, but back to the story with the Amazon. So we having to push this stuff into the storage area. Like I'm talking about, it was a lot of it was a lot of packages. We had to break the pallets
yeah.
down. Then we had to take them and sit them inside the storage room. And then that's not even the end of every stop that we went to. It was
You have
like
to break down every
we had
pallet.
to break down every pallet.
We went to
And then we
another
was
postal
late.
service. We had to break down. They didn't even have. They had like their drop off area had was sanded.
Yeah, it was sanded.
So
So even if we had a pallet jack, we wouldn't have been able to pull it in the sand. It was like, it was terrible. And they had to come to the truck. It was maybe like 5 workers in that town. And they was coming to, as we putting it on the lift gate, they was coming and separate going ahead. They was separating the packages as we put it onto the lift gate. But that day was terrible, and that's not even the worst part. So the second time we went to go do Amazon relay, so we do have a pallet jack, but it was actually on our other truck, so we didn't have the pallet jack with us, and we didn't know that it was going to be so it was going to be so hard
we were
to.
thinking that because a lot of drop off locations they do have pellet jacks. So say if you're dropping off at a postal service, most of those postal service that we did go to, they did have pellet jacks where you can pull. I mean, you can use their pellet jack. You can actually use it, but that's why we just recommend you have your own pellet jack. But
Yeah.
that's what we was thinking, where we can use Amazons to put it on the truck to load it, and then to unload it when we got to the postal service we was gonna just ask them, hey, can we use your pallet jack? But
Which
a
it
lot
did
of them
work
did.
out for the most part. It did work out that way. But it was just that first, that I guess we was taught the lesson that first time when we went and we had 5 drops and didn't nobody have a pallet jack for us to use. Like none of the postal service had a pallet jack to use. And then the second time we decided to do Amazon is when we got to the Amazon facility. I couldn't find a pallet jack. There was no pallet jacks for me to use that was Amazon. So I had to go around and ask some of the drivers to let me use their pallet jack. Like it was so embarrassing. It was so, oh no, but it was a good thing that we only had I think it was 2 pallets. Was it 2? I think it was like 2, maybe 3 pallets that we had to take that night.
Mhm.
It was only one stop. So I think it was like maybe 3 pallets, and it was Gaylords, like 3 Gaylords that I had to take. But I was so embarrassed. Like I had to use this one guy's, and then it was crazy because my order wasn't ready. It wasn't fully ready. When I got there, it was only one pallet ready. And then I used this guy that was near because my pallets wasn't in front of the door that I was at. So I had to use this. I asked this guy to let me use his. He let me use it. I put it on the truck, and then I had to wait for the rest of my order to get ready. So another one of my pallets was ready, and I went and I seen a pallet jack, so I got the pallet jack. I thought it was Amazon's, but it was actually another driver's. And he was walking around looking for his pallet jack. And he's like, "Hey, that's your pallet jack?" And I was like, "No, I seen it sitting over there." He was like, "That's mine." I was like, "Oh, okay, I'm sorry." He's like, "You use it, you good, you good." I was like, "Okay, well, thank you." And then for my last pallet, I went um and I seen this Amazon employee. I think they was going on break, and I asked him, "Could I use the pallet?" He was like, "Yeah, we're not supposed to, but I'll let you use it this time." He was like, "Just make sure you leave it." So I used that pallet jack, and it was a good thing that once we got to the post office that they had a pallet jack there, so that was easy. But
It'd be a whole lot easier if you just please go with a pellet jack. Unless you just don't mind breaking down them gaylords and those pellets and you got time to do that, then hey, go for it. But me, no ma'am. No. ma'am.
All right, so we have another question. Do Amazon loads have more than one drop off location per load? Um,
Definitely.
yeah, it does. It does. Yeah.
So it ain't like you just gonna go to Amazon, you gonna pick up one load from Florida that's just gonna go to this one drop down and wherever. It's not
No.
like that. It's you're gonna pick up a load or order at Amazon and you may have two, three stops within that order.
And then it may be like five pallets going to one stop, one pallet going to the other stop, two
Yeah.
pallets going. So you don't, and then again, you never know what you're picking up with Amazon.
Yep.
Um, you can see how many stops it is when you choosing your order. You can see how many stops it is. But as far as knowing what you're gonna pick up, the weight of the what you're picking up, you never know. You don't know how many. You don't know how many pallets going to what stop. They will show you how many stops and where your stops are going to be. Well, what area your stops are going to be in. When scheduling your order, and then another thing with Amazon, we don't see a lot of daytime orders. Most of the orders that we have seen has been at night. Now, I have
Mhm.
looking at the load. I mean, yeah, looking at the Amazon load board recently. Um, we did seem to. I did see some orders from. I think it was Mooresville, North Carolina, that was going out during the day, which was like 2 o'clock. Last drop off was at 7, which would have been a good order to actually take because they had it for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So it was going to Georgia from Mooresville to somewhere in Georgia, which was very good. And I think it was paying like $300 a load, which wasn't paying up but a dollar and 89 cents a mile. Um, but yeah, and then the orders, I think we made over $1,000 with the 3 orders that we did do. We made over $1,000 with those 3 orders, which was, I believe, was good. It was like 3 days. We made a little over $1,000.
And then so what do you say? Do Amazon loads have more than one drop off location? Preload.
Yeah, I think it's per load, maybe per load.
Okay.
Do Amazon loads have more than one drop off location per load? Yeah, I think it's per load.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. But yeah, it's the experience
Yeah.
has been an experience.
Yeah, I like Amazon. I do. From the very first time I did Amazon, I like Amazon. It's like I said, it's it's a catch. Like it's a easy little catch. It ain't nothing hard. As long as you got your pallet jack, all you gotta do is pull them pallets up on that truck and get on through and drop it off at your location, pull it off with your pallet jack. Our most mess up was it made it hard to find ourselves is when we didn't have a pallet jack. But
Yeah,
that was the only bad experience I really had with Amazon. Well, one time we got there and our order wasn't ready, but it wasn't no it wasn't no big. But I like Amazon.
okay. Somebody said outside of getting approved with Amazon, can anyone can anyone just speak on the experience with the training and running Amazon loads, the success failures, what loads really hitting on? Um, mm, um, um,
Okay, the failure. I don't know if like I as far as like the lows, are you when you say failure, if you're speaking as far as like as far as the pay, for the lows, or if you have any issues with anything whenever getting the lows or dropping off the lows or whatever. I didn't really see no failures. You ain't have no issue with payments. You ain't have no issues when you really got to the location. Again, it's a process. You got to go through the process.
You went out. But yeah, with the and then also, it's not necessarily a success and it's not necessarily a failure.
Yes.
You bet.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not necessarily a success and it's not necessarily a failure. Um, you get out what you put in, basically. Um,
And a lot of people that we met out there, now it wasn't that we was just doing Amazon runs. Like if we was out on the road and we needed um a way back, it's like one time we had some important things we had to get back to, so we was in Florida. We used Amazon loads to get us from Florida because we didn't have a load the next day, or we didn't schedule a load the next day, to get us from Florida to South Carolina, just so we wouldn't have to deadhead that far. We could make something on the way back to South
yeah,
Carolina. But you got some people that's out there. We met people out there picking up Amazon, like they was banking. They was so much of regular um employees with Amazon where they had regular routes.
yeah.
And
That's the thing as far as getting your score. Like I say, it's basically you get out what you put in. If you own time, you don't have any misscans, that type of stuff, then you'll get the good loads. So if you get the good loads, then you can start getting contracts with Amazon where you have a dedicated lane where this is your route. It could be daily, weekly. So that's you basically have to put in the work in order to get what you want to get out of Amazon. Um, so that's what I say about that. It's not necessarily. I don't think Amazon bad. I don't think Amazon. I don't think. I don't know. Like I say, in 3 days we made over $1,000 just doing 3 runs with Amazon. So I'm not gonna say. I wouldn't say Amazon is a bad thing. We have another question. Somebody said they've been stuck in pending review status with Amazon Relay for 1 week. Is that normal? With Amazon Relay, the process with Amazon Relay, I applied for Amazon Relay. I made sure that you have to make sure that all of your information is correct as far as your insurance is the qualifications that Amazon is asking for the insurance. If the qualification as far as um not your MCA number is actually active. The only way to get your MCA number active is to make sure that your insurance is at the standards of um it meets DOT standards. Amazon do have a higher standard when it comes to insurance. So you have to make sure that is you have the qualifications as far as the insurance for Amazon. I applied for Amazon. It took my MCA went active one day, but even when I was putting my MC after it went active, I was putting my MC number into Amazon and it wasn't taken. Um, so that took about another day or so, maybe 2 days before it actually allowed me to apply for Amazon Relay. After I applied for Amazon Relay, I did go into pending review for maybe a week. And then one of the Amazon employees called me, and the questions that he asked was basically what was my MC number, um, and he asked me one other question that wasn't. I mean, it was basically about it wasn't nothing hard or nothing that you had to go to explain. I can't remember the question that was asked, but he asked me maybe two questions about the business. What type of truck I was gonna be running? I believe it was it a 26-foot box truck? And whatever the question was, it was a yes or no question. So once I answered that question, within the next hour or two, my Amazon was up and running. Um, I mean, I didn't have to make any extended calls or any of that. After he called me, it was maybe an hour or two. My Amazon was up and running. I went back on the Amazon to check, and it was up and running. I was able to get onto the load board. What I was getting confused about was I was actually logging into the Amazon through the browser, and I was able to see the load boards and everything. And then I tried to log in through the app. Now, with the app, it's only for when you go pick up. It only shows your order. I mean, your route. So I was thinking that I should see the same thing on the app that I was seeing on the website, but it's not. It's totally different. Um, that's something I had to learn as well. But yeah. So as far as pending review, I'm not sure why. I'm not sure. It took me about a week to, as far as them giving me that phone call.
And so, what you would say if he just wanted to wait on a phone call? We don't know if that's the regular procedure, but she just saying as far as her experience, it may be a phone call that you may receive. So if you don't receive the phone call, probably from some unknown number or whatever, they may try to contact you. So you just may want to be on the lookout for that phone call.
Yes, most definitely. Just make sure you answer when they call, because I did miss the first call. They sent me an email saying that they had tried to call me, that they would give me a call back the next day. So the next day it does come up as well, for me it came up as Amazon on my phone. Um, and I knew it was them, and I went ahead and answered.
Yeah. So that's that. You just want to maybe keep an eye on your email or on a phone call. Hey, sure, you may can even just reach out to them to ask them. I don't know if there's a certain number. You may can Google a number or something and just reach out to them.
Yeah. Um,
But yeah,
and when it comes to your scoring, I think you have to do 3 runs in order to get an actual score. Um, you have to do 3 runs to actually see your score. Once you do those 3 runs, then Amazon will give you a score within 24 hours of that third run. They'll give you a score. Um, but the better the score, the better loads that you'll start to see and receive. Because before we even got a score, I'm talking about the load board used to be flooded with good loads. It was just like it wasn't necessarily in our area. Um, we're from Greenville, South Carolina, and they do have one in Spartanburg, but it's only running 53-foot box. I mean 53 semi trucks. So it wasn't really, they didn't really have a load um for our truck. So that's why it took us so long to actually run loads with Amazon. And we only use Amazon to get us out of the so that we won't have to deadhead. But yeah.
and when you say 3 loads, are you saying 3 load? Are you saying, excuse me, are you saying 3 loads from? Amazon or 3 like loads? Like 3 pickups from Amazon location, or you saying like
Yeah,
3
three
drop
pickup.
offs from Amazon?
Yeah, 3 scheduled
From Amazon, the
pickups
site
from
Amazon.
Amazon. Yeah, 3
Okay.
pickups from Amazon. And you'll start to see a score. Right now, we have a C, which is not good. The only reason why we have a C is because of that, because of the acceptance. We have a 75. Because like I said, I thought it was I didn't know it was in military time, and I scheduled to pick up, and I had to cancel it. So yeah. Um, and then with Amazon, you are paid every Friday. With our Amazon, it always hit the account that Thursday. We always receive the invoice that Wednesday, and the deposit hit the account that Thursday. And I'm not sure if it's just depending on the bank that you have. Um, but we did receive our payments on Thursdays, but it originally supposed to be paid out every Friday, and that is from Sunday to Saturday. Before 12 o'clock that Sunday morning. So 12 o'clock Sunday morning to 11:59 Saturday night is what you'll be paid for the following Friday. But yeah, any more questions, concerns?
I can't think of nothing else I might want to add. Mm. Well, yeah, I mean, it's easy bread. It ain't nothing really hard. Like I said, you get there, you get registered in, you go to the gate, they assign you a bay. You go to your bay, back your truck up, go in, speak with one of the Amazon workers. They give you an order, or they give you a lane where your order is going to be at, and you just start from there. As far as loading your truck, she gave you a little hint on how to load your truck. Your first load, well, your first drop off is going to be put on last. Your last drop off is going to be put on first. So that's the hint when you're picking up, when you're loading your truck from the Amazon stop. Once you finish with that, you check out with the Amazon worker. You go back up front if you have a temporary badge. Check out, and you do your drop offs.
Yeah, it wasn't very hard.
And
Next episode, we're definitely going to try to see if we can get the load board up and see if we can show some of the loads that Amazon do have available, and what it's paying. We do our show kind of late at night. We may try to start going live a little earlier. So the loads may not be as good as if we was to do it during the day. And we may try to catch something during the day, so that you guys can see what those loads are looking like, where they're going, where they're coming out of, how much they're paying, what's the pay for the mileages, that type of thing. We'll try to get that set up next time. Um, but I don't think there's anything else left to go over when it comes to the Amazon relay. Um, but you guys, on the next episode, we will be talking about the 16-foot box truck. We have a 26-foot box truck as well as a 16-foot box truck, and we'll let you know the ins and outs with that box truck, how it worked for us, what we did to get loads, um, that type of thing.
definitely.
What we made with using that 16-foot box truck. Um, what kind of things that we ran into, what kind of things that actually was good that we had the 16 football show. We'll go over all of that in the next episode, which probably would be tomorrow night at the same time.
It's definitely some pros and cons with the 16-inch versus a 22-inch. So
16
just because,
foot,
hmm,
the 16 foot.
yeah, I'm sorry. It's late, y'all. But a 16-foot versus 22,
The
24.
6 foot.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
definitely pros and cons with those two.
Yeah.
Um, and location is another big
Ooh.
thing within 16
Yes.
versus. So it's just you got to weigh your pros and cons, and you got to know. We'll get more into details when we discuss as far as the 16-foot versus the 26.
Yes, yes, yes. Well, thank you guys for watching. Subscribe, hit the like button, and come join us. We got some gems that we will be dropping with these live videos. Um, when I
Definitely,
say
definitely.
when I say we have a lot of stuff to tell y'all. We've been in
Yeah,
the
we want to
game for
share our experience with y'all. When we started our journey, we looked up a lot of, information and whatever, whatever, but a lot of things we did run into. And we just want to share the experience and let you know how we went about it and a lot of stuff that we did run into within our experience.
yeah.
But
So continue to follow us, subscribe so you'll get those notifications when we're live. Make sure you hit that notification bell and hit the lights. And don't cost nothing to hit the lights because we're gonna be dropping some gems on this channel. Like you don't want to miss it, especially if you're trying to get into this box truck game. Um, so thank you so much for coming in to sit with us today. All money in box trucking. Come stay for
thank
a
you,
while.
thank you, thank you. Y'all have a good night.
I
Again,
think yeah.
subscribe, hit the notification button. We are going to continue to do the live, so we'll keep y'all posted.
Yeah, and we will have videos coming soon as far as what it's like on out there on the road. We got videos definitely coming soon.
Definitely.
But we're gonna keep this live thing going so that y'all can get the information that y'all looking for, the information that y'all needing, that some people are charging you guys for. We just here to get this information out to our community. So y'all continue to follow us. And y'all have a good night. And we out.
Good night.